Hey everybody, just wanted to get in touch with you right before the video and the podcast started. Basically, we had a little bit of a mishap with our audio file, so randomly the audio just got really quiet and it sounded pretty awful. So Joey and I basically had to executive order this and just axe a pretty good sized portion of today's episode. So basically, it's kind of going to cut off at a weird spot, but we wanted to just at least give you a little bit of a snippet of info as to why that's going to happen. So don't panic. Don't freak out. It's going to be okay. It was just a freak thing, and me being, not in the same country didn't help, so we couldn't reshoot it, and I just got back last night. So this episode's going to be a little lame. We apologize very much in advance. We sincerely apologize. It really sucks. We were pretty pissed about it. But this won't happen again. This was just a freak thing, kind of just a bad timing issue. If this was any other time, it would have been no big deal. But things happen. So we appreciate you understanding. We hope you enjoy the conversation we had. And this means that Game of Thrones will also be postponed one more day. So you'll get that Friday, get that Fun Day Friday going and get a good episode for you. So again, we can't say we're sorry enough. It sucks. I know. Totally blows. And we don't want this to happen again. It won't. Stay with us, though. We'll work out some kinks along the way, but we're going to stick through it through and through, and we'll learn from our mistakes. So thanks again for listening, and we'll catch you guys for this episode, and hopefully stick around for Game of Thrones. All right.
Final topic.
Numero cuatro.
Numero cuatro. That was a better accent. You did it better than me. So these topics are pretty. This is probably our most random week because we went from
Guns.
music, guns,
Jake
Paul, and now I just want to talk about our biggest fears. And not necessarily ranked or not necessarily specifically anything in particular, but just our general fears. I'll start it out and it kind of like I said with claustrophobia being a premonition for a later topic. I would say that is probably my biggest fear.
Is it claustrophobia or is it losing breath in general?
That's a good question because anytime, I don't know if you watch the movie The Descent,
Mm-hmm.
any movie or any scenario really when they're cave diving and it's just those super enclosed areas, I'd watch the movie The Descent and watch people go through that and my palms start to sweat.
Oh, really?
Like my fucking blood feels like it's going to my ankles. It's so weird because I think it may have, but it's just a feeling of not being able to move a muscle no matter how hard you're trying. And it probably has the same, maybe it's just the restraint part, not even the enclosed spaces.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Because it's just that feeling of being incredibly powerless no matter how hard you try.
Yep.
And not to mention, especially if you're cave diving, being trapped in a cave and not being able to move and not knowing.
Being trapped?
Yeah, like you could easily just trap and get and die down there.
And it's like the dream mentality of no matter how fast you run, you can't run fast enough.
Yeah, exactly.
When you're being chased by someone in your dreams. Because I was going to say my biggest fear is water and drowning and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not the water that scares me. I hate the feeling of not being able to breathe. That freaks me out more than anything.
Yeah.
And that goes into tie with I just like being in control of my body at all times.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't mind rock climbing, cave diving. That doesn't bother me at all. Even tight, narrow gaps I don't sweat that at all as long as I can move.
Yeah.
The second that my arms or legs or body is constrained, I'll freak out instantly. I mean, what was it, 127 hours?
He had his arm trapped.
Yeah. Something like that, if that was on my body.
Yeah, and it's weird because there's certain things that, I mean, stuff like heights and public speaking are not really fears of mine, but I watch those videos on YouTube of people climbing these crazy things.
And then they'll dangle off.
Yeah, and they'll dangle off and they'll show videos, especially I remember watching Russian like adrenaline junkies climbing this giant skyscraper in China. And they were just showing it, and they were high enough to the point where the clouds were below them and stuff. And I just watched that, and my palms get sweaty, and like I start to like feel this weird feeling in my stomach.
Hang
but
from like one hand,
off
of it, and there's no safety nets.
Yeah,
you slip, it's over.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. And I feel like I'm not necessarily scared of heights, But it goes to that again feeling of, like you said, with that wanting to be in control of your body
and can't.
Yeah, and especially with those dramatic of heights, and especially in that scenario when you're climbing on stuff that's not designed to be climbed on and not designed to hold a person's body. I feel like that is just another scenario where I'm not necessarily scared of heights.
Yeah.
But it's just like these certain things happen when I'm...
It gets you uneasy.
Yeah, and the same thing with public speaking. Like, I have no problem public speaking. I mean, we have our own YouTube channel where we talk for a living, so it's not like we have a problem public speaking, but for some reason, every time I would take public speaking class and go up and like give a speech or something, I wouldn't be nervous at all.
Yeah.
But every time I would talk, my mouth would get super dry. For every time
that happens to me every single time.
Yeah, and it's usually a symptom of like if you're nervous, but it's like I'm not even nervous. I'm just talking to people, and I have no problem doing that.
I freak out for public speaking, though.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely depends on the situation, probably. I mean, I've never been in a situation where there's been a large amount of people. I think the most I had in a public speaking class was maybe 30.
Yeah,
and
I would have no idea.
I did a speech in a little anecdote. I did a speech in public speaking when I was at Saginaw Valley, and we had to do a demonstration speech. So I demonstrated how to be a wide receiver in football, and my last segment of my speech was how to celebrate a touchdown.
Nice.
And I did the Dougie in front of my entire class. It was pretty
nice.
Cool. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, it's just weird that not necessarily something that would be a fear. You have certain that your body thinks something other than it's like, okay, I'm not nervous. Right. My body almost thinks that I should be nervous.
You should be freaking out right now, man. Yeah. This is not cool.
Your mouth's drying up. Your palms are sweating. Like you're kind of maybe stuttering a little bit. I don't know. It's just weird.
My ultimate fear is being in a car that's underwater. So when I drive...
And all these have a link.
Yeah.
It's just body restraint and not being able to do something that you desperately want to do.
And I hate driving over bridges.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't talk
Mackinac
to anybody.
Bridge, white knuckle.
The whole way. I don't even look. I'm on the inner lane. I'm never towards the water.
Yeah.
I'm just...
Everyone's silent.
Go.
Okay, we made it. We made it, everybody. We made it.
I hate bridges. Especially because there's so many... Because I don't want to be in a car underwater. There's so many things that could happen. Someone swerves because they're texting. Someone passes out while they're driving, whatever.
And it couldn't even be you. It could be someone else.
The bridge collapses.
Wind.
Oh, man.
Something catches your light car.
My mom was on the Mackinac Bridge when that semi got tipped over because of the wind.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, you want to talk about I'm walking and leaving the car.
Yeah, just park, done.
Nope, I don't
out.
care. Whatever, get a new car. It's no big deal. Yeah, not being able to breathe just freaks me out.
Not to mention, can you imagine being one of these construction workers that had to work on skyscrapers back in the day when there were no restraints? You see these pictures of dudes eating lunch and sandwiches, and they're like on the 70th level, and there are no restraints, whatever. They're sitting, just swinging their feet.
Dangling.
Oh, this sandwich is pretty good.
Because for me, I could do that, but in my mind, I'm thinking, what if a bird like flies and hits me in the face, and I twitch? And I fall.
One mistake, and it's over. Like, you're done. It's not even close. But then again, there's a reason why those guys get paid like an hour. Because isn't it like window washers on skyscrapers? Don't they get paid like upwards of like $70K a year? It's like, yeah, I can totally see why they would pay a lot of money.
There isn't a lot of supply for that job.
Yeah, exactly.
There's not a lot of people that want to do it.
Yeah, nobody has a dream job of washing windows on skyscrapers.
Yeah. I can't, because I know a lot of people are afraid of, failing and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I don't think I am.
Well, we mentioned that in our inspiration topic last week.
Yeah.
Because
I don't necessarily. I think at some extent everyone is. Like, no one wants to fail at
it depends on the scale of your failure.
I definitely get, like, with sports, I always freak out. I always psych myself. I'm always my worst enemy when it comes to sports. Ever since I was a kid, I always make a stupid mistake because I'm just scared to miss or scared to strike out, whatever it is. That's always been something I've tried to overcome. And even pick up basketball, there'll be shots I won't take because I'm just freaked out that I'm going to miss. And those games don't even matter.
Yeah.
No one remembers those. Yeah. But I can get into that. But, I mean, overall, it's just I got to be in control of everything.
So do you have any, like, psychological fears? Because I think one of mine would be loneliness. Because I think, and not that I'm saying I am lonely, but I feel like maybe that's a fear of if I stay that way, or if I ever come to a situation where, like, because I've heard stories of people that are not close with their siblings or not close with their family or something when they get older, and it's just like, yeah, I don't really talk to them at all. Like, I haven't really heard from them, don't really know where they are. And it's just like, that blows my mind because me and my brothers are best friends. like I have a good relationship with my parents and everything.
Right.
And I just feel like maybe it's not the loneliness part that is one of my fears. Maybe it's of losing maybe one of my family members because of how close I am.
Yeah.
So I think, do you have any, I mean, and I say psychological more so because that's not something that happens to you. That's more of a feeling that you're in fear of.
See, it's funny because I mean this in all reality. When I was in high school, I completely thought that one day I was going to be completely alone.
Really?
And I was totally cool with it.
When I would, really?
Didn't sweat me at all.
I mean, I remember when I was younger, I used to imagine a day where my parents were gone and just bawl.
Yeah.
Like, and I would think in my head, like, that's going to happen someday.
Right.
And this is when I was a lot younger. But just thinking of that someday will come, I just started bawling. And it was just so weird that I would think of that, and let alone let it emotionally overcome me like that.
I don't know. When I was in high school, like I would say senior year, I just thought there wasn't a ton of, I just didn't have a ton of interests that really killed me to the point where I didn't need a whole lot. I wanted to live as minimally as possible, but I always had this idea that I could just go live on a lake somewhere by myself with a dog, and that's it.
You'd be fine.
And I'd be totally fine. And in all reality, if that was my fate, I think I could. I don't think it is, but I think that if the cards were just dealt horribly for me and I was by myself, I don't think it would bother me that much.
And I think for me, it's maybe it's because I wouldn't consider I have a lot of like close friends.
Yeah.
But I feel like maybe it has to do with something, the fact that I'm so close with the friends I have.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
we're so close, and then obviously with my brothers. And I feel like maybe because of how close we are and how much that bond is, like how strong that bond is, maybe that has something to do with it, because it's I mean, the common phrase of you'd rather have a few great friends instead of a lot of friends.
Yeah.
So maybe that has something to do with it, because I enjoy being with those people so much and enjoying the times that we have. And especially like now that my brothers, I mean, one is in Green Bay and one is in North Carolina. So it's like they're so spread out. So,
well, there you have it. It got cut off. I know. Pretty weak, pretty lame. But again, we apologize. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Real Talk with Tom and Joey. Again, I'm doing the conclusion, and I don't know it at all. So I'm going to be using my phone because Joey's champ at this, and I'm not. So work with me a little bit. Each and every week, this is funny because this is in Joey's perspective. Each and every week, Joey and I both bring two random topics of discussion to the table for your entertainment, while most importantly, keeping it real. If you enjoy what we do, you can head over to patreon.com/TJENT, all about the plugs here, where you can throw us a few bucks of support and get the show early, along with some other sick rewards like the stickers aforementioned before. If you don't have any bucks, though, it's all good in the hood. You can tune in every weekday here on youtube.com/TJENT at noon Eastern Standard Time. Again, we don't really know Pacific time or any other time, so just, adjust. Noon Eastern Time, where we will break up each weekly episode topic by topic, day by day, until the entire show is posted on Friday in one big video. If you don't have time to watch the video version of our episodes, hey, that's no problem. You know, on the way. You can search Real Talk with Tom and Joey on iTunes. You can subscribe to that ish. You can review it. You can listen to it. You can just devour it. You can do whatever you want to do with our content. You can just go ahead and do it. Any form, and we were pro orifice. Stick those headphones in anywhere, and we'll get you. But if you don't know, now you know. Thanks again, guys. Sorry about the mishap on today's episode. It really sucks for everybody involved. We feel really lame about it, but we hope that doesn't deter you guys away. We don't hope that doesn't piss you guys off too much. Again, working through the kinks, but we'll see you guys tomorrow. Yes, today's Thursday. Tomorrow for Game of Thrones. Peace out, guys.